Floor. We shall begin by reciting the prayer for the spreading of the teachings throughout the length and breadth of the West, which you'll find on the front page, scrolling down. By the force of the blessings of the non-fallacious three precious gems, and of the truth of our pure selfless wishes, may the precious Buddhist teachings flourish and spread to the expanse of all areas throughout the length and breadth of the West. For all the people living there, together with their near ones, who have engaged in the teachings and have faith and respect for them, may all conditions adverse to their practice of the pure Dharma be dispelled, and an excellent collection of favorable conditions increase like the waxing moon. And especially for those who work on methods to accomplish the flourishing and spreading of the victorious one's teachings, which are the source of benefit and happiness, may they never be oppressed by masses of interference and adverse conditions, and may this spontaneously happen just as we have hoped and wished. The Heart Sutra. Thus have I heard once. The Blessed One was dwelling in the royal domain of the Vulture Peak Mountain, together with a big gathering of great monks and great bodhisattvas. At that time, the Blessed One entered the Samadhi, which examines the Dharmas called profound illumination. At the same time, noble Avalokiteshvara, the Bodhisattva Mahasattva, looking at the profound practice of transcendent knowledge, saw the five skandhas and their natural emptiness. Then, through the inspiration of the Buddha, Venerable Shariputra said to Avalokiteshvara, how should those noble ones learn who wish to follow the profound practice of transcendent knowledge? And Avalokiteshvara answered, Venerable Shariputra, whoever wishes to follow the profound practice of transcendent knowledge should look at it like this. Seeing the five skandhas in their natural emptiness. Form is empty, emptiness itself is form. Emptiness is not separate from form. Form is not separate from emptiness. In the same way, feeling, discriminating awareness, compositional factors, and consciousness are empty. Thus all the dharmas are empty and have no characteristics. They are unborn and unceasing. They are not impure or pure. They neither decrease nor increase. Therefore, since there is emptiness, there is no form, no feeling, no discriminating awareness, no compositional factors, no consciousness, no eye, no ear, no tongue, no mind, no appearance, no sound, no smell, no taste, no sensation, no objects of mind, no quality of sight, no quality of hearing, no quality of smelling, no quality of tasting, no quality of sensing, no quality of thought, no quality of mind consciousness. There are no nidanas from ignorance to old age and death, nor the way out. There is no suffering, no cause of suffering, no ending of suffering, and no path, no wisdom, no attainment, no non-attainment. Therefore, since there is no attainment, the Bodhisattvas abide by means of transcendent knowledge. And since there is no obscurity of mind, they have no fear. They transcend falsity and pass beyond the bounds of sorrow. All the Buddhas who dwell in the past, present, and future, by means of transcendent knowledge, fully and clearly awaken to unsurpassed true completeness. Therefore, the mantra of transcendent knowledge, the mantra of deep insight, the unsurpassed mantra, the unequaled mantra, the mantra which calms all suffering, should be known as truth, for there is no deception. In transcendent knowledge, the mantra is proclaimed. Tadyata Om Gate Gate Paragate Vasam Gate Bodhisattva. O Shariputra, this is how a Bodhisattva Mahasattva should learn profound transcendent knowledge. And the Blessed One arose from that samadhi and praised the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Avalokiteshvara, saying, Good, good, O son of noble family, profound transcendent knowledge should be practiced just as you have taught, and the Tathagatas will rejoice. When the Blessed One had said this, Shariputra and Avalokiteshvara, that whole gathering of the world with its gods, humans, asuras, and gandharvas, their hearts full of joy, praise the words of the Blessed One. Now we generate bodhicitta. With the wish to free all beings, I shall always go for refuge to the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha until I reach full enlightenment. Inspired by wisdom and compassion, today in the Buddha's presence, I generate the mind intent on full awakening for the benefit of all sentient beings. As long as space endures, as long as sentient beings remain, until then may I too remain, to dispel the miseries of the world. With the wish to free all beings, I shall always go for refuge to the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha until I reach full enlightenment. Inspired by wisdom and compassion, today in the Buddha's presence, I generate the mind intent on full awakening for the benefit of all sentient beings. As long as space endures, as long as sentient beings remain, until then may I too remain to dispel the miseries of the world. With the wish to free all beings, I shall always go for refuge to the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha until I reach full enlightenment. Inspired by wisdom and compassion, today in the Buddha's presence, I generate the mind intent on full awakening for the benefit of all sentient beings. As long as space endures, as long as sentient beings remain, until then may I too remain to dispel the miseries of the world. Okay, so we shall recite a rosary of Om Mani Padme Hum. Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. So, We generate bodhicitta at the beginning as we recite this with the wish to free all beings. I shall always go for refuge to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha until I reach full enlightenment. So, just so that we know what it is that we're reciting here, this first verse is to be recited with it's not that we are merely going for refuge to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha in order to find freedom from our own suffering. The intention in going for refuge to the Buddha, now when we go for refuge, so do you know what is refuge? What is the meaning of this refuge?
Like protection or safety.
And what is the meaning in this context of refuge?
Kind of having a sort of like relationship with these objects in a way that you would find protection and safety.
And what is it about these objects, as you said, that provides that protection and safety?
I think the transformative effect in your own mind, because the Buddhas, can't just force a realization on you, but I think through your own relationship with them, from your effort from your own side, then maybe you can cultivate a relationship to where your mind gets protected through that.
So the main object of refuge is the Dharma, the doctrine that the Buddha taught. Now they talk about two forms of taking refuge in the Dharma. There's taking refuge, or do you know the two?
Spiritual and realization.
And what is the difference?
One of the words, the other is in the mind. The words realized and changed the mind, so that's the real refuge.
So you're taking refuge in your eventual mind change.
Yes, it's called one word definition is safe direction. When they talk about refuge, because we're always moving, so we're going in the right direction. So safe direction, nice definition. So in the Dharma, there's the literal Dharma, the page, and then there's the effect it has on your mind, and the actual change in your mind would be the refuge.
So you're taking refuge in your future.
Yes. One way of looking at it.
And the Sangha?
How does that help us now?
It doesn't.
Ask Tony.
It doesn't. Sorry. Have a sandwich.
Sangha.
The beings who realize emptiness. And that's only on a conventional level, right? And the other level is like, is it also like through past cessations with the Sangha? Or
Those who have attained the paths and the cessations?
yeah, but there's like two levels to the Sangha, right? As well as like other ones, like we were talking about, the Dharma jewel has two levels. Doesn't the Sangha also have two levels like that?
You can ask Tony.
What was the question?
Like we were just talking about how the Dharma jewel has like two levels. So also the Sangha has two levels in the same way, right?
Right. What we are like, sometimes we say we're aspirational.
Right.
Because we haven't, or ordained monks,
Right.
and others. There's so many definitions. Anyone who comes here will call it something.
So, when you're taking refuge, it's important to, we're not just taking refuge in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha by rote, but really thinking about these qualities that provide the ability for us to attain the state that we are freedom from suffering, and then the ability to be of benefit to others. Because we're doing this until I reach full enlightenment. So, inspired by wisdom and compassion, and here, that inspiration in wisdom and compassion is when we take this particular second verse is the taking the vow of the Bodhisattva vow, and it's more than just inspired in the sense of a nice idea, inspiration. We should think of being totally infused with or by wisdom and compassion. The wisdom realizing emptiness, and compassion, the great compassion that extends to all sentient beings. Today, in the Buddha's presence, I generate the mind intent on full awakening. This makes bodhicitta very clear. It is the mind intent on full awakening, and it is taken for the benefit of all sentient beings. So this middle verse is the essence of generating bodhicitta. This is well, if you can recite this every day, and if you can think about really what it means, this is setting your motivation. And when you take the vow of the Bodhisattva vow, it's a vow that you take to continue working at the attainment of enlightenment through to your achieving full enlightenment. So when you take the vow, along with taking the vow is the commitment to work towards the attainment of enlightenment over lifetimes. So preparing yourself to go from life to life to life towards the attainment of enlightenment. We shouldn't think of, we read about the great extraordinary yogis who were able to attain enlightenment in a lifetime or in a few lifetimes, but we mustn't really think that we are going to attain enlightenment in this lifetime. We must determine to work as hard as we can towards the attainment of enlightenment, but we should do so with the real acknowledgement, recognition that this is a very, very, very long-term goal that we are working towards, and that we have to pace ourselves towards attaining, and that we should work in each lifetime towards accumulating the causes for being able to continue our work in the next lifetime. And then, even once we've attained enlightenment, we devote ourselves to part of this determination to attain enlightenment for the sake of all sentient beings entails that that's what we are committing ourselves to forever, until all sentient beings are free of suffering. So this is like giving ourselves over to this forever and ever. So these three verses, I don't remember when it was. I think it was a teaching that His Holiness gave at Radio City Music Hall, and he said you should recite these three verses were printed out for us all to take these vows from His Holiness. Do you remember when this was?
I think you're right, it was realistic.
We were given little pieces of paper like that.
Yeah.
And since then, we have been saying this in as part of our prayers. But this was a commitment that His Holiness gave us to do. And it's something that if you can do each day, and, taking the Bodhisattva vow, if we've received it once from a Bodhisattva, we can continue to take it. We can do it alone. We can do it in front of a statue of the Buddha if we want to. We can do it visualizing the Buddha and visualizing the Dharma in the form of texts. But as Tony said, the real Dharma that we are taking refuge in is our future attainments, our future realizations, the realizations that we bring about as a result of our practice. And then the Sangha, the spiritual community who has the Bodhisattvas, the noble Bodhisattvas in particular. So reciting this is something we do at the beginning of class, but it's something that the more you can think about and the more you can try to bring into your daily lives, the more it will grow.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think the modern day age has actually, it's like the sentence where it's like, I generate imagine of all way, the Western beings. Do you think with technology and how interconnected, I guess, to an extent that we are, do you think right, when it actually is fulfilled, whenever, wherever that is, there's actually potential for all beings to actually be liberated now?
So there is not, we would say that there's not a single being you can point to and say he or she or it will not attain enlightenment. We talk about something called Buddha nature. And Buddha nature is the fact that each sentient being has the potential to attain enlightenment. And what is it about each sentient being that gives it that potential?
Environment. And creating environments, the connection to equity is where my brain goes on that. I guess for me, I was just thinking yeah. I don't know. That's interesting. Because I'm also my brain goes to a place where it's you would need to be in a position in order to do that.
Well, we are
Eventually, right?
Yeah.
To do that, on a global scale, of the same this day.
Oh, universal. We're talking.
I'm talking the most idealistic place of this. Yeah, I wasn't talking practical at all. I was just saying realistically, right? In order to do that, that's something cool that technology actually, because now that everyone's interconnected, the idea of global justice is actually perceivable. It's something I feel it can grasp because now those lines, ways of connection exist. And those didn't always used to exist when this practice was first being developed.
No. However, I think that the steps towards the attainment of enlightenment, the inner work that has to be done in order to attain enlightenment is work that we have to do ourselves. Technology will it's interesting because we've seen technology come into, let's say, the monastic situation. And of course, all the ancient texts that had been carved out of wood and ink was rolled on them, and then they put a piece of rice paper on, and that became a page. And that's how, until 1959 in Tibet, that's how books were printed. And now the texts are all fed into computers, and it's digitized, it's online, and anyone with a computer or with an iPad can access texts that no one had access to, except for a few people. Fewer and fewer people read today.
And who knows if it's even text now, right? That's how it is to be disseminated these days. Who knows?
But the realization of that material is something that we have to do inside. The texts contain the information, but we have to not just read them, we have to read them, we have to think about them, we have to meditate on them, we have to have them transform our perceptions, our attitudes, our hearts. And that's work that we can't relegate to technology.
Well, I agree. Like, I wasn't trying to imply like anything to the contrary. I was just trying to state, like, I guess for me, like, environment can influence one to maybe embrace that process more, and like environment and like social and like global social context. And I was just trying to say like how access to tech influences that. But yes, I was saying like, yeah, I think positive leadership and creating an environment that actually encourages people to see like the beautification of like opening your heart up more and being more exposed to that, because humans respond to environments. And I think like with the global thing, there's like just an interesting connection there, and I think it's kind of ironic because like that's the whole end goal, right? It's like for everyone to be liberated. Like everyone is now actually perceivable to us in this day and age. Like everyone on every continent, we have an idea of someone's there, like with maps and stuff. The term everyone, it used to be as perceived as broad. And that's just something that I find interesting about reading this.
And the everyone, as you say, we have to stretch that concept of everyone to include, of course, animals, insects, and then the beings in different realms. We humans and the animals that we perceive are all living beings within a very coarse physical realm. And there are more and more subtle beings whom we can't perceive living within world systems that they talk about, universes between my two hands that exist on different levels of being. So as we work towards assuming this responsibility to benefit all sentient beings, as you suggest, the technology that enables us to be more aware of others is important. And we really have to stretch that further and further to have the idea of assuming responsibility for infinite beings really means something.
Generations, intergenerational, yeah.
So the aim of the this or the vastness
I was gonna
of
say that, yeah. Yeah.
the more vast we can make that assumption of or assuming of responsibility, the more powerful it becomes.
It's one thing to know too, right? And one thing to feel an exposure and like the privilege of travel. Most of the vast
and will soon have intergalactical.
You never know these days, dude.
Yep. What was he called? Commander. Who was the head of the Kirk? He was exploring.
Your generation.
So, I think Mr. Spock would have been in charge of the debating court. Applying logic. Very important. So, so the generation of bodhicitta is where it is? No. Here we go. Yes, so once we've generated bodhicitta, and as long as space endures, as long as sentient beings remain, until then may I too remain. So not only are we assuming this responsibility towards all sentient beings, but we are devoting ourselves to being of benefit to them for as long as it's not that we can permit ourselves to let anyone out of this realm of responsibility. And that's, I think, thinking along those terms is helpful because we can't leave anyone out. We can't say, oh gosh, not him. Everyone has to be there. And if our compassion makes any kind of a, what's the word, discrimination, determining who we will work for as opposed to who we will not work for, we don't have great compassion. And we will not generate bodhicitta. The bodhicitta, the determination to attain enlightenment in order to benefit all sentient beings, will not happen unless everyone is included. So the really assuming responsibility for everyone is essential.
What's the difference between compassion and great compassion?
Compassion is what we might feel for those around us, whom we're attached to, whom we are aware of. Great compassion is towards infinite sentient beings.
So great compassion necessarily doesn't leave anything out.
Correct. Gosh, that was a nice question. Thank you, Mark.
Absolutely.
Is there a finite amount of sentient beings, or is it infinite?
Infinite.
Can you explain how?
Who's count?
How is it infinite?
Yeah.
Because there's no limit to sentient beings. That's how it's infinite. I'm cheating, but now I don't know the modern day description of space, but from the sort of ancient concept of the space within which we exist, you can go in any direction forever and ever, and there's no end to it. And space, this infinite space, is filled with sentient beings. So if you think in those terms, that might give you a picture of what infinite is. Apparently, and what, may I ask, is funny?
The picture of the infinity. How can you picture something that's
limited
Going.
space.
But also,
Time.
doesn't it encompass infinite systems, so not necessarily just our Earth?
Of course.
Right, which is how you can conceptually think about infinite.
So can you say that this part?
Sure, I just said it, it incorporates systems that are beyond like an earthly terrestrial system. So if it also incorporates other systems that we don't know about, then sometimes it's easier to wrap your head around as opposed to the ability to literally, you know, number every human being, every animal, and every, you know, sentient being on this system. We don't know about all the other ones. They're thinking ahead.
And then, of course, you have different dimensions.
Right.
So that even within this, you have different, you know, way beyond our imagination or my imagination. So infinite has many avenues to express itself. Is that okay?
I remember as a kid, my parents' house was sort of on a hill over a long valley. And at night, I would look out the window into the sky and sort of try to perceive what that is. That we knew intellectually that it's endless. It's supposed to be endless. That scared me. I closed the window and went to bed.
You kept it out?
I tried. Apparently I'm still trying to figure it out.
I have friends who are astrophysicists, and so part of their job in the scientific community is to count all the stars. So as we increase the technology, we're able to count more stars. So, you know, every other year when I see them, like, there's a new number, right? And they're like, oh yes. It's actually an infinite number, but it's this exercise that we go through to continue to count.
It's also in yourself.
What?
Infinity. It's in yourself.
I'll let you know when I find out.
So what explain?
Well, like, you can really, like, it's gonna sound so cliche, but I feel like it's like, yeah, like, you can find comfort with infinity in yourself, and what I mean by that is more like, if you challenge perceptions, I feel like, of your identity, and challenge what you're rooted to enough, you realize there really, like, isn't necessarily a root. And then once you do that, it's kind of like, not once you do that, but it's almost like you're exposed to what you're able to do in this lifetime and the many things you can be. Yeah, I guess it's like spiritual death and like spiritual rebirth. Yeah.
Like identifying that
Like
whole
just
stuff.
not being tied to, yeah, like not being tied to like things you're like I think it's important to like, it's hard to me to articulate, but I think like within yourself, if you're like, oh, this person that I am is like a being who's existing within this like infinite environment, you are also infinite because you also reflect like what's around you. And the second you're like, oh, I'm not necessarily like tied to this, I'm tied to like, then you can just be a little,
Right.
yeah.
That's the difference between attachment and being able to change.
Yeah,
For your mind.
You can change it in about times.
So the whole
So you die,
purpose,
I guess.
the whole purpose for doing this is to broaden the scope of our sense of responsibility, to broaden the scope of those whom we are working to attain enlightenment to benefit, and having our love, developing it into great compassion and great love that extends to all sentient beings, and have that sense of responsibility towards others extend infinitely, in that process, we are also diminishing our worry, concern with me. And the more we let go of that sense of me, the more we can actually feel and assume responsibility for others.
Yeah, serve the responsibility.
Sorry?
I said serve the responsibility.
Server.
I was thinking out loud.
Server?
Oh, I just said like respond to the call of responsibility that we're
Serve your responsibility.
Serve it, yeah.
And the purpose of thinking this way is that as you diminish this sense of self, you diminish this sort of grasping at a sense of self. The method by which we eventually attain the enlightenment necessary for helping all sentient beings is the deepening of our recognition of, our realization of no self. So this process of widening the scope of responsibility and loosening the sort of the knot of self-grasping all contributes to the process of working towards the attainment of enlightenment. That's okay?
Did you ever hear Ayn Rand's idea of reality? She had the idea that each person was their own universe, and that their self protecting of themselves was what made them good people, as opposed to Ayn Rand. Oh yeah. The exact opposite of point of view.
So I think that what we have been exploring in Ethics for the New Millennium is just the opposite of that, which is the not only recognizing the benefits of the value of widening our scope of responsibility towards others, but realizing that it is the greatest source of happiness for us. And if our goal is the attainment of some kind of happiness, really working to benefit others promotes happiness and diminishes So you must think about that, Darren.
But maybe she has a different definition of happiness.
Yeah, you could say that.
Right.
Okay, so last week we were discussing this whole idea of transforming the variety of blooming flowers and the magnificent radiant golden castles are not created by anyone. They are designated by thought, for the world is posited by the force of thought. Do you remember this?
Yeah.
So have you thought about this? What is the meaning of this?
What is that verse?
Question of Upali Sutra. Yes?
Question mark, questions.
I approve of the question.
We have the approval of Mark Bucheri here.
So we have to have the conception in our mind in order to identify what we see in front of us.
The question in our mind?
Oh, the concept in our mind. Because you were saying, I don't remember the exact sentence, but you were.
Repeat it.
Yeah.
The variety of blooming flowers and the magnificent radiant golden castles are not created by anyone, they are designated by thought, for the world is posited by the force of thought. Now, the reason I bring this up now and brought it up is this concept of the world being something out there that is that way, as opposed to something that is there as a reflection of our thoughts, designated by our naming and our designation, changes the whole dynamic of our relationship to the world around us.
A co-creation, or sometimes used that, but it's not exactly.
So this might approach Darren's concept of
That's Rand Paul, you know. I ran this Rand Paul too.
So what do you make of it? What do you think? This is a sort of revolutionary concept that here we are at 151 West 30th Street, 3rd floor, Monday evening at 7 o'clock, saying that the whole world is not out there like this. It's actually designated by thought.
Well, you just said designated by thought, but could that also be interpreted as like actually it was created, like our environments were created by past kind of thoughts, by past kind of mental actions? So is that quote kind of pointing at the fact that we did kind of actually create whatever circumstance that we're in now? So like all the environments, for example.
Yes. We deserve it due to our karma. We've created it by the actions that we engaged in the past. We each deserve to experience what it is that we're experiencing. Is that what you mean?
Not like a deserve, but it's just kind of, right, like the law of karma. Like we did something and now we're going to experience. Yeah.
But that's all that I meant by deserve.
Yeah.
Deserve
Yeah.
can have a value judgment, which we don't want to adopt.
Oh, don't we?
That's a read of deserve.
Because,
We wrote the script.
because then we could say that people
Yes.
who are suffering deserve it.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
They don't deserve it. There's causes to
Yeah, you did something evil, something
What's the difference?
unethical, and you're paying the result. Same.
that it can be used as a way of dismissing.
Oh, no, you're adding stuff to it. Just karma.
Karma. Well,
Does the person who experiences the result of his or her past actions due to the fact that he or she is engaged in those past actions deserve what they experience?
I think
You don't like the word.
Think about it positively.
I'm pretty sure I remember you taking issue.
Oh, you're
Last week, Darren brought this up and he said, if we think that way,
we
it's
have
totally
to,
wrong.
well, this is a concept that we apply to ourselves.
Yeah.
That's what I would have said.
You gave
And
a lot of things.
we don't judge others.
Right.
But we have to recognize that the difficulties that we are experiencing are difficulties that we are experiencing as a result of our own past actions.
Yes, but deserve, I think, takes on a connotation of sort of a self-judgment, or self can be kind of judgmental of oneself.
Or
He doesn't like the word.
Yeah.
Me neither.
If you did something
He doesn't like the word
and you
either.
got a reward, you would deserve the reward, right?
In this context, no. It's just cause and effect.
So,
That's what we said.
so you are giving more,
Trying to put form on it.
yeah.
Trying to put too much
So remove the word from the way you think about it, but you do that anyway. You're just challenging us here.
No, I think dessert, I mean, I'm saying it because I think.
Dessert. No, I like dessert. That's good.
Dessert.
As a result of our having engaged in virtue, we get dessert.
I did say word. I did dessert.
Sorry?
Results.
We have a little dessert here, by the way.
Just desserts.
No, Mark is absolutely right. We do not want to judge others. In terms of judging ourselves, I leave that up to you. You can determine individually whether you want to apply judgment to yourselves. However, what we experience is, as you said, the result of our past actions. And but what I'm bringing up is, given that, when we see things, when everything that we see is we should think of as being the creation of our past actions. And when we attribute some kind of an existence to something, when we name things, when we identify, I suppose is the better word to use, that is something that we're doing. That comes from us rather than from the phenomena themselves. And so it is that relationship to the world that I'm suggesting.
Do you think part of good karma then is being like exposed to life experiences that allow you to be more liberated in thought?
Wait, can you say that again?
Do you think good karma, like part of good karma then is having more access to, like, not more access, but having experiences or a background or circumstances that just allow you to be more liberated in thought?
Definitely.
Because when you said that quote, what I thought of immediately is like education plays such like a powerful role in that, because you go to public school, you're mandated to a curriculum that's determined by the state or the society that you're functioning in, and that influences how your brain develops, like K through 12, and you really don't have much of a say in what you're being taught and what you're being aware of, and that can influence whether you question stuff or not, or what you apply beauty to or not.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what it was just interesting to me, because I was like, an association of karma then for me too is like, how much freedom and thought are you raised with, or are you exposed to, and how does that influence your own perception, right?
And how much are you encouraged to question? Some cultures don't encourage question.
Exactly.
And others
Do encourage it. I like to think most cultures encourage it, just in different ways.
Most
Mark encourages.
But all that could be said to be the result of our karma.
You mean you deserve it?
Result.
It's also the result of us working with these ideas and feeling empowered to question, or to be able to actually take the teaching seriously in terms of really studying, turning something all the way around to really think it through, so that you understand what happens when you actually apply it, trying it different ways. But when you were talking about that quote, it also made me think of the phrase, looking at things as like an illusion, be released from the bondage of attachment. So it's not that we're denying the reality of the golden flowers and the castles and those things. It's the perceptions that we bring, the attributes that we bring to that as we engage with it. And not to be too attached to, whatever those perceptions are. So
the the being in a situation where we can doubt, where we can bring about change, where we feel that we have the ability to assume responsibility for the path that we're on, is in itself the result of having the karma to do that. Making virtuous use of that increases that in the future. So the area where I don't mind that we consider for ourselves that we deserve the situation that we are in. However, what is really important is that we not think that we are imprisoned and that we don't have the ability to determine the future. To the degree to which we can actually change our attitude, work towards developing a concern for others over ourselves, to the degree to which we can actually cultivate virtue and diminish any sort of negative tendencies, we have the ability to bring about change in our outlook, so that sense of deserving is, we should consider that to be limited to right now, and in terms of the future, we have choice, we have the ability to implement our will and bring about an improved future. Yes, it really, it's extraordinary news. I mean, not joking. The whole idea that our attitude, that if we're talking about this, the variety of blooming flowers and magnificent, radiant, golden castles, the fact that we are responsible for viewing the world in a virtuous, beneficial way, and that in itself makes the world a better place, puts enormous power in our own hands to improve ourselves and improve the world. And I just briefly brought up this whole idea of Buddha nature, and the potential to bring change in ourselves, to work towards the attainment of enlightenment, is due to the fact that we are in no way intrinsically or inherently so. That lack of any kind of inherent existence, the lack of any kind of fixed self, independent self, is what makes it possible for us to evolve, to extend our concerns towards more and more and eventually infinite others. So as we develop this concern for others, as we have that grow, we should also work at exploring, at understanding, at studying this idea of no self, that every effort that we make towards really recognizing selflessness, that lack of self, contributes to a better next step, a better future, more freedom to continue developing in that direction. Maybe that's where we should stop. So, Darren, do we have? No, the photographer. Yeah.
Maisel. No, Mr. Todd, Billy knows. What's his name? James Todd.
James Todd.
James Todd. Different name.
So we will read the Sutra of the Recollection of the Noble Three Jewels. I prostrate to the Omniscient One. Thus the Buddha, Bhagavat, Tathagata, Arhat, Samyak Sambuddha, the learned and virtuous one, the Sugata, the knower of the world, the charioteer and tamer of beings, the teacher of devas and humans is the Buddha Bhagavat. The Tathagata is in accord with all merit. He does not waste the roots of virtue. He's completely ornamented and without. He is the basis and treasures of merit. He is adorned with the minor marks. He blossoms with the flowers of the major marks. His activity is timely and appropriate. Seeing him, he is without disharmony. He brings true joy to those along with faith. His knowledge cannot be overpowered. His strength cannot be challenged. He is the teacher of all sentient beings. He is the father of bodhisattvas. He is the king of noble ones. He is the guide of those who journey to the city of Nirvana. He possesses immeasurable wisdom. He possesses inconceivable confidence. His speech is completely pure. His melody is pleasing. Whenever it has enough of seeing him, his form is incomparable. He is not stained by the realm of desire. He is not stained by the realm of form. He is not affected by the formless realm. He is completely liberated from suffering. He is completely and utterly liberated from the skandhas. He is not possessed with dhatus. His ayatanas are controlled. He has completely cut the knots. He is completely liberated from extreme torment. He is liberated from craving. He is crossed over the river. He is perfected in all the wisdoms. He abides in the wisdom of the Buddha Bhagavats who arise in the past, present, and future. He does not abide in nirvana. He abides in the ultimate perfection. He dwells in the Bhumi where he sees all sentient beings. All these are the perfect virtues of the greatness of the Buddha Bhagavat. The Holy Dharma is good at the beginning, good in the beginning, and good in the end.
Its meaning is excellent. Its words are excellent.
It is uncorrupted. It is completely perfect and completely pure.
It completely purifies.
The Bhagavad teaches the Dharma well. It brings complete vision. It is free from sickness. It is always timely. It directs one further, seeing and fulfills its purpose. It brings discriminating insight for the wise. The Dharma which is taught by the Bhagavad is revealed properly to Vinaya. It is renunciation. It causes one to arrive at perfect enlightenment. It is without contradiction. It is pithy. It is trustworthy and puts an end to the journey. As for this Sangha, the great Brahman, they enter completely, they enter insightfully, they enter straightforwardly, they enter harmoniously. They are worthy of veneration, they are worthy of receiving prostration. They are a field of glorious merit. They are completely capable of receiving gifts. They are an object of generosity. They are a great object of complete generosity. The protector who possesses great kindness, the omniscient teacher, the basis of oceans of merit and virtue, I prostrate to the Tathagata. Pure, the cause of freedom from passion, virtuous, liberated from all lower realms. This alone is the supreme ultimate truth. I prostrate to the Dharma which is peace. Having been liberated, they show the path to liberation. They are fully dedicated to the disciplines. They are a holy field of merit and possess virtue. I prostrate to the Sangha. I prostrate to the Buddha, the teacher. I prostrate to the Dharma, the protector. I prostrate to the Sangha, the community. I prostrate respectfully always to these three. The Buddha's virtues are inconceivable. The Dharma's virtues are inconceivable. The Sangha's virtues are inconceivable. Having faith in these inconceivables, therefore the fruitions are inconceivable. May they be born in a completely pure realm. Let's read the 8 verses on training the mind. With the determination to accomplish the highest welfare of all sentient beings who surpass even a wish gratitude, I will learn to hold them supremely dear. Whenever I associate with others, I will learn to think of myself as the lowest amongst all, and respectfully hold others supreme from the very depths of my heart. In all actions, I will learn to search the divine mind, and as soon as a disturbing emotion arises, endangering myself and others, I will firmly face it averted. I will learn to cherish the nature's needs and those oppressed by strong disease and sufferings, as if I found a precious treasure difficult to find. When others out of jealousy treat me badly, with abuse, slander, and so on, I will learn to take all losses and offer the victory to them. And the one whom I have benefited with great hope unreasonably hurts me very badly, I will learn to view that person as an excellent spiritual guide. In short, I will learn to offer to everyone without exception all help and happiness directly and indirectly, and respectfully take upon myself all harm and suffering of mine others. I will learn to keep all these practices undefiled by the same great worldly concerns, and my understanding from the illusions be released from the attraction. And the prayer for the swift return. Exalted wisdom of all victors gathered in a drop, sole refuge manifest in the form of the one wearing saffron robes, Guru Lotan Kubwan Doje Chana. Please bear witness here today that our prayers may be fulfilled. We beseech the great torch of doctrine, accomplishing from long ago the vast ways of aspirational prayers, Lord, speech of the victorious institutes, spreading them to the ends of the earth by means of explanation and practice. Beholding the commitment, I will invite all beings to be my guests in the surprise awakening. Yet you have withdrawn the activities of the form body that serves the welfare of others. Is that worthy of the supreme among beings, the Bodhisattvas? Though impossible for you till cyclic existence end to abandon your commitment to liberate all beings, we speak to the new from the Nirmanakaya to swiftly return from the realm of Dharmakaya, brought forth by Bodhicitta, drawn by Samasthis. Having reached the far limits of scholarship, religious life, and goodness, please come swiftly as an unrivaled supreme emanation, full holder of the sage's teachings, and wish-fulfilling jewel. Return as the glory of Vasanthana, magnificent truth of the 3 precious jewels, Mahakala, Karnayana, and Srimati, and the ocean of Dharma protectors. May you spontaneously fulfill our wish, the swift blossoming of the reincarnation's fresh new life face.